$1,000 a month, the principle remains the same. And it's always good to, in my personal opinion, and also as a believer, is to put God first in everything we do. And when we're preparing to manage our finances, as we put God first in our finances, I've seen it in my own life. Every time I put Him first, He always blesses me and honors me so much more than what I ever do for Him. So our principle as a couple is that we, first and foremost, before doing anything, is we put 10% that we give, we set aside to give to God, to give to the church, to give to God, to give to the church, as a tithe. We all know tithe, right? Yeah. You've heard that before? It's a good principle. It's not just it is a spiritual principle, but it's also practically a good practical principle to be able to give to others, because it shows your reconnaissance, your thanksgiving of what you received, and you're giving back to your community. It's giving back to others to help others who may be less fortunate. So that's first and foremost is your tithe. And then you need to set aside, it's good to set aside percentages according to your revenue. Okay, so much, say 30% is for my living expenses. Okay, maybe you can. Okay, we actually have some percentages that we set aside here, so you could just apply the percentage according to your revenue. And this is an example. You'll probably have to tweak it a little bit according to your own needs. So budget 55% of your salary for necessities. So that means rent, your groceries, your utilities. 10% of your salary for savings. 10% of your salary for investment, for financial freedom. 10% of your salary for education, for mentoring, for seminars, for courses. 10% of your salary for fun, so for going out, going to get something to eat with friends, and then 5% of your salary for sharing. So that's where a little bit different than what I just said, but setting aside a specific, amounts, setting aside percentages based on your income will help you get further along concerning your objectives. So whatever your objectives are in life, make sure you set your salary, set your income according to those objectives. Because if you don't set up objectives and then you align your salary according to those objectives, you'll never obtain those objectives. And if you have no objectives in the first place, you'll just find yourself going around in circles and circles and circles. So whether you be married, whether you be a single person, it's good to manage your finances in such a way that you're reaching for a goal and an objective, and that once you set these budgets, that you live by them. You set these percentages and you live by them. Some people use an envelope system where you have different envelopes for the different categories. So say you receive $100 per month for your salary. This is just an example. Okay, you're 10%, so that means how much? All the mathematicians, $10 goes into your tithing envelope. Another 10% goes into your saving envelopes. Another $10 goes into that. Another, $30 goes towards your rental of where you're living. Another 10% or $10 goes towards your investments, trying to reach your objectives, and so on and so forth. There's several different methods, but it's good to first of all fix your objectives and then align your finances according to those objectives, and then you'll be able to see results in the long term.
Thank you, Pastor Brett. Yes, Kevin?
I have two questions. One goes with what Mama Marie was saying. We come back that perspective. In finances, what would you advise for most of the time we see young adults when they plan to get married, they usually take all the salaries and they put for investments because according to them, according to us, we believe that, okay, quite a lot of money. So everybody has a dream, especially ladies. they always dream big when it comes about marriage. So sometimes they stress guys because of that, and then the guy has to invest a lot on that, forgetting that after that there's a life that's to come. So, how much would you advise them to be saving actually to a marriage, in terms of percentage? That's number one. So, going back to submission, I want Mama to clarify when she gave an example about how she has to travel. She says, there's a sentence she said, a quote, she said, "You are the man of the house, so you decide and I have to follow." Was it because you believed that as a man, he knew what he was doing, or because you thought that as a child of God, you just have to be submitted? In the sense that if you believed he was a man, so you knew that whatever happened will be, okay, I told you I didn't want to go, but you wanted me to go, so I have to go. And or it was just because you had a firm confidence that he's the guy, he knows, so have to follow him blindly.
So I'll answer the finance and she can answer the submission. So whether you be in Congo, whether you be in Belgium, whether you be in America, weddings cost money. And they cost a lot of money. And today we like to see what everybody else does, and then we want to try to duplicate what they did. But we don't necessarily have the same budget or the income or the means as those people in the magazines. When you see these superstars, paying $250 a month, somehow, some way, it's not going to work. So I would encourage you to get married according to your means. It is not a sin to not have a big party. It is not a sin to not invite 500 guests. It is not a sin to not have your wedding at the Pullman. It is not a sin. I guarantee you, you will still be married if you get married here in the church. We have a little drink outside. We share a little bit of sandwiches, and done, finish, over. Au revoir. After you get married, you still have to live. So I would advise you, when you get married, marry according to your means. Young ladies, please get married according to your means. Also, young ladies, I will speak very clearly. Young ladies, it is not a sin for you to contribute to the budget. After all, both of you are getting married. It's not just the man who has to pay for everything. Woman, you can also be somebody who brings something to the table. That's what Marie was talking about earlier, to bring something to the table. You're not just here to receive, but both of you, you're equal partners. She's going to talk about submission, but the Bible talks about afterwards in the scripture where it says, wives, not fiance, wives, submit to your husbands. Not young ladies, submit to every young man that's in the room. Wives, submit to your husbands. And afterwards it says what? Submit one to another. Both. Yeah, see? You have to submit one to another. And there's another scripture where it says, this is one she loves, they say, hearken to the voice of your wife. That means your wife is there also to counsel you. You don't have the science infuse. You're not a génie. Your wife can have wisdom as well. God has given your wife wisdom. Sometimes it's good to listen to her as well. So anyways, for your finances concerning marriages, get married according to your means. We will be happy for you. And I know, there's going to be a family member that says, oh, but why didn't you have this? Oh, why didn't you do that? Let me tell you something. For our wedding, concrete example, we got married in the same place. So we had one hall for the whole day. So we had the the religious ceremony, we had the cocktail, and then we had the dinner, all in one venue. We didn't move around going all over the city. We were in one place to try to help, one, to have a good time in the place, and also to have the best quality that we could afford. But the traiteur, the caterer, proposed a menu, and there was also alcohol on the menu. Now, if I'm not preaching against alcohol here, but we made a decision that we're not going to serve alcohol at our wedding. Now, that not serving alcohol, one, had a financial implication. It reduced the cost a lot, because you can spend thousands of dollars on beer, on champagne for people that don't care about anything. They just want to drink. It was also our personal conviction. We're not drinkers. We're not somebody who gets drunk, or that's not part of our makeup. If you drink, that's not the discussion right now. That was our personal conviction. But that helped us as well to live within our means. It also helped those people afterwards, because there was police controlling outside the wedding, and all those who had drunk alcohol, they were arrested. But everybody who came from our wedding did not get arrested because there was no alcohol.
Yes, to answer the question about submission, we were going back and forth, and a decision had to be made, so that's why I trusted him that, first of all, he's